Welcome back, everybody, to the final series of the day for week 5 of Gears Pro League. It's going to be a fun one. Rise facing off against Pittsburgh Knights, one that's been at the top, slowly looking to make their way back up there. And then Rise, who's been middle of the road, okay? They've been kind of in there, tough series, good series, beating E United last week in 27 rounds. But hey, they're here tonight against a much different opponent, which is PK. Blaze, how you feeling about this one?
Oh man, this is going to be a great series on our hands. Rise, as you said, coming off a high, playing against E United last week. A battle between those two teams that we watch always go to distance, and they delivered in that series. It was a great one. Go back and watch it on the rebroadcast. UMG got the YouTube up for you guys to watch all the rebroadcasts of the Pro League and any of the Gears Esports action. But you're looking at both these squads over the last 4 weeks. They are 3-1. And both their losses came from the teams in our last series. PK took the L to F&I, and then Rise took an L to VQ. PK also took down Hive, Rebel, Elevate. Rise took down E United, Queso, and Rated R. 3-1 going into this one, but this is a series, man. Here in the late portions of the Pro League, you expect teams to be playing their best. So hey, let's see what we're gonna get.
Definitely going to see what we get. Rise and Pittsburgh Knights are very familiar with each other's play styles, and I think that's what made the series between Rise and E United so close, given the fact that they have played against each other so many times, whether it be at LAN events, online majors, or Pro League in general. They just know what the other side is going to throw at them. And speaking of which, one guy that especially knows what's going on and who's really been impressing me as of recently is Avexys. He's been looking absolutely unstoppable, and 1.70 KDA. It's right around middle of the road, at least for what we do expect in terms of KDAs. But you look at his other things, plus or minus -13. Honestly, not that bad. We have seen much worse. And again, Avexys screams consistency to me, especially with the true engagement at 63.01. Those are the stats. But what else can you say about Avexys, Blaze?
Man, the reason why he got that gold Rise Nation chain is because of consistency, all right? Okay? He is the definition of consistency. And where you want your most consistent players on the map, you want them in 1v1 positions. And that's where Avexys have been shining the most lately. And for me, it's kind of weird to say that because you think of some of the old teams of Rise Nation. He has been in that team fight. He has been a part of that team fight with either 3 or 4 players being a part of that. But seeing him play 1v1 positions off this Rise Nation squad, he pushes the envelopes there. And I will hate to go up against him in any 1v1 spot because Avexys, man, he just knows how to set the pace and he knows what his team needs him to do every single repetition. And this is going to be a series all about repetition because it's going to be a long one, folks. I'm letting y'all know, strap yourself in right now because Pittsburgh Knights and Rise is about to deliver like Rise and E United. And the common denominator there in both series is Rise, all right? And they know how to play against both these squads. And they've been looking good lately.
Chat, keep notes. He's pumping Rise up quite a bit. That should tell you where his allegiance lies, all right? Let's go into our pick and bans, see how we're looking with our maps, all right? We got District, we've got Trading Grounds, and we have Harbor. And I know we were talking a little bit beforehand, and we were talking about the maps that might be in the rotation, and we get all 3 that seem to favor Rise. Other than Trading Grounds, Rise isn't too bad, but PK, that is their bread and butter that they consistently will pick whenever, of course, it does slip through. So for me, District, man, that's looking good for Rise. Trading Grounds, looking good for PK. But that Harbor, that's kind of a sore spot for me with Pittsburgh Knights. I think Rise getting an impressive victory over E United, going to round 9, that should give them, at least in my mind, the added advantage to take map 3 when we get to that point.
But I still think going the distance, looking at those last 2 maps between Vascar and Harbor, I think Pittsburgh Knights is still a great Harbor team, right? Rise had to pick they had to pick their poison there at the end because any of those maps, PK is going to give you a run for your money on. So it'd be exciting if we do go the distance. But District Trading Grounds, I think it looks, District Trading Grounds, those are 2 great maps. Both these teams are good at it. Well, let's just kind of talk about our predictions and see where this one is going to fall, because we got another great series on our hands, folks.
A phenomenal series without question, Blaze. I'll start off with me. I got to go with Pittsburgh Knights, guys. Look, Latin America all the way. I tried it with F&I. VQ surprised me, and I'm just telling you right now, I will not be voting against Vanquish anytime they play from this point forward, okay? Bottom line, period. They just look unstoppable. But Pittsburgh Knights look unstoppable. And there's no reason. Like, Rise has been consistent. They've been looking better. I give you that without question. But they're not looking like Pittsburgh Knights. They're going to get the victory tonight. Blaze, who are you going with?
Well, man, this one was a hard one because, we only have about 4 LATAM teams in the league.
True.
2 are at the bottom, 2 are at the top. And this is 2 less from last season of us being split 6-6. But the 2 that we got in our league are super talented. That's Fire and Ice. And that is PK. But even though they are super talented, they are not always the most consistent. And I think that Rise has showed a lot of consistency these last few weeks. I think Rise Nation is a team that is going to start peaking here as we get towards the playoffs. And for this series, man, I'm all about Rise Nation. So rise up for the Rise Nation fans, because I think that they can walk away with this one. I think that now is the time for them to show us who the hell they are. They got 3 players who almost three-peated last season. All right. And now we're in 4v4 gameplay. Franchise and Icy, they get better in these type of environments. And they got 2 young slayers in the forefront of those fights to help them out. And granted, PK is a savage of a squad, but I think Rise Nation has been slept on a lot throughout this pro league, and now it's time for them to step up.
Blaze, you just gave him like the premium gas, bro. Like, you just went on a terror and just made every reason as to why Rise is the best team in the world. But it doesn't matter, because Pittsburgh Knights is still going to end up ahead, baby. And chat, who are you guys going with? Come on, I already know. You guys are going with PK. I saw the channel points. You guys are insane, voting all those channel points. Blaze will do the same, but he's broke. He's made some bad decisions in his days, all right, guys? But I know you guys are a little bit smarter. Now, I do want to bring up some history, though. Let's go back to our last series, all right? F&I was a shoo-in, right? I went with them. You guys went with them. Blaze went with VQ, and VQ ended up winning. So it's without question, I'm a little bit nervous that Blaze is now once again on the fence, going with the team that should be the underdog heading in against Pittsburgh Knights for all intents and purposes. But I think we got him this time, boys. He's about to fall back down to last place.
You calling it early. I think we got him, boys. Call it in, yo. He's going to stay at the back of these placements. But, hey, man, I tell you, by the end of this night, I'm probably gonna be tied with PR, but we're gonna see about that one. Okay, we'll have a conversation about that one later.
Okay,
and I'll be ahead of you as well, but I'm not jumping ahead of myself. I made a pick because I solely believe that I think Rise can pull away with this series. But now is the time to see it. Let's see what they all about. Let's see if they're about their business.
All right, well, let's definitely find out. Look, either way, the best team is going to win at the end of the night. And if it's Rise, so be it. That makes mid-split playoff discussion that much more interesting, because Pittsburgh Knights have been on a tear throughout Pro League without question. And I know they're looking to retake that second place spot. They're not passing up Noble. Off the rip, though, Rushiez, great engagement on Sumuns. Raver's going to be lancered out, and Rushiez now will be able to live rent-free on Bravo. And Dezonide's even going to be challenged for good measure. Franchis immediately applying that pressure with this teammate of Icy, and man, these Rise boys are looking good.
They are. They're going to let Dezo time himself out. Ooh, Sumuns has a big battle here. He's taking a lot of damage from the left, but you see how he stays up, because that player in Juice, being Icy, was not able to hit the shot that he needed to. So now he's trapped here. He's going to be forced to take a more difficult fight, as PK will be able to fight their way out this difficult situation. But it was Rise winning the initial off the back of Rushiez, and he's going to be the next target here for the Knights.
Ooh, big down.
That's all you can ask for
able
in
to
that
get
situation.
that finish as well. And man, Rise, they're looking at player 4. They're looking at Monkyz. Monkyz, the most consistent player throughout Pro League. He's going to fall to the wayside, and we still have a long round ahead of us. A long round ahead of us. Rise is going to be successful in this OE. Player 3 is going to do what he can to kind of dance around, keep them at bay, but they'll eventually they should be able to get the full cap, but they're going to go ahead and back off. The Lancer Fire is too real, right? And you're too exposed. You can't really stay there, or else you're going to put your teammate in a probably 1v2 situation.
Yeah, you really can't. Now, Rise does a good job, making this the neutral hill on the map. Now, the fight breaks out and is going to be won there by PK. Good job to Sumuns for getting that initial damage out, but the fight mid-map could go by way of Rise, but Rushiez has to make some big plays, and he's going to do just that, picking up 2. Does he get 3? Ooh, little stalemate, but he didn't take the bait. He waits for help to come, and he's going to back up, and Monkyz will fall, but that just shows how great of a player Rushiez is. You know, we say that, he's very energetic. He gets these kills. He bounces around, but you see that he knows when to hold a shot. And now he has set his team up for success here in this round 1.
You don't get a 4.0 plus KDA by just playing reckless and playing super aggressive, right? Because eventually it should balance out, especially if you're overly aggressive. You have to play smart to be able to get that high of a KDA. So it makes sense Monkyz was able to play that engagement well. Look at the scoreline though, Blaze. I mean, it is so close, and big engagement versus Rushiez. And I say big because Deza was capturing B, and that's going to give the 2-1 back to PK. And this late in the game, that should be the win condition. What is the win condition? But Rise is already on the OE. Raver, Sumuns have to get these boys off here and not allow the decap. But the decap can come in, excuse me, but either way, they win off of 1. But I think this should be it. Fran is gone. Icy's backing up, and PK is going to win round 1.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get this one. It was a close one. It was a close one indeed, but you saw PK did a good job locking in that B hill, and then as well winning a fight at their home hill multiple times throughout the round. Rise tried to contest it, but they could never get that home hill locked in for PK. So good job there. Sumuns played a huge role in keeping that one neutralized. Now PK strikes first. We're going to get some standardized weapon placements here, and we'll see how this round progresses.
All right, like you said, standardized. Nothing too tricky just yet. I'll be honest with you, I really don't want to put anything in Bandstand or Cinema either. Granted, though, they do have Rushiez, who I always compliment to get those quick picks, and he was always the wild card for that reciprocity roster to be able to get the quick picks, right? At one point, Rise.
And I will say this, that both teams favor the power weapons in different locations of the map. Big reason why we saw the differences in placements when it comes down to secondaries.
Fair enough. Curious to see if those big power weapons do come into play. We've seen them from time to time, at least on District tonight. This isn't the first time we've seen it. I think we've seen it, 2 other times as well. So it's kind of been favored, which does make sense. One of the core Gears 5 competitive maps since the very beginning. Rise is going for it, going for the OE, and Monkyz is dipping out as quickly as he can. He knows he needs reinforcements to better his chances of winning this engagement, but Icy gives it a good go. Monkyz going to get the pickup and be able to dip back and deal with these 2 Rise members who he knew was going to be on the chase on the hunt for C.
Big 1v1 being won there top side of the map by Sumuns against Avexys there, as he had the B hill captured. But even so, PK, they managed to get their next spree of kills, taking out the 2 members of Rise who was on top of their home hill. Now Rise has to defend against the 1v1 up top, and they need to defend against the capture of their home hill. Avexys still has to deal with Sumuns in this position, and Sumuns is just doing a good job holding them back for his team to get the domination. So good job to PK. Back-to-back rounds where, I give Rise a lot of credit for winning the initial, but PK wins that next set of kills. They win that next team fight to lock in this round by way of domination.
And does that not sound familiar, right? Go back to our last series, Fire and Ice. Phenomenal initials, decent mid-game, but late game. VQ always found a way to take it over in the last seconds, and maybe we're seeing a bit more exemplified that. Now, here we go. Coming into what you just mentioned, both teams prefer a power weapon placement at different sides of the map. For PK, they love the bandstand placement. For Rise, though, they want that cinema fight, and it makes sense. That cinema fight goes very well for, or at least historically has gone well for Rise, and again, because of Rushiez to get those quick picks. But let's really see what Rise is made of. That slaying power from PK is no joke, so this could go either which way. Rise, for me, they're going to have to play this a bit cautiously, maybe create some distance and get some added chip damage, because I don't want them going head-to-head with PK.
And they didn't. You see it off the initial. They take their time, but they recognize that nobody from PK was taking the bait. So now Rise was the first team inside, but PK, having Rise out in the open for so long, they got enough damage out for them to win the fight ultimately, and they're going to lock in the M-bar and get map control as well. But can they get the trip cap domination? Player 7 has to deal with a 1v2 to stop this, and I don't know if he can.
Gonna be tough for sure. He's gonna go ahead and fall off. Raver trying to get that chunk onto Fran. Fran trying to crawl in. Stopped at the 1 yard line. PK will take round number 3. So Blaze, I pass the question back over to you. We've seen Rise 2 rounds, rounds 1 and 2, play it pretty much default, right? Botox, Talons to normal. But then round 3, they said, let's change it up. Let's send out an M-bar over and send them up. It doesn't work out. So where do you go from here?
Well, you know, you start building up your secondary from up top because that's exactly what PK is going to do. If you get towards the next round and PK gets that shot grenade, you can put the snipe down low, force it to have to be played as a 2-2. That could buy you some time, buy you some speed, and some speed off the initial for you to be able to get there and get those power weapons without having to deal with the secondaries too much. But we'll see if Rise gets there. They got at least something on their secondaries up top if they need that. But Raver, he's going to be at the apex of the fight, gets the first down. Rise hops over. The second player goes down. The third gets chunked, and Raver collects on all 3. Where you running, Rushiez?
Oh, no, and Dezo, man, like you said, where are you running? That's exactly the dialogue Dezo had, probably in Spanish, though. Guns him down, he's out of the way, and quick overextension is at play. Rise looking to, or excuse me, Rise trying to stay alive. PK knows they need to get some touches. Icy's going to effectively back them off. And it's definitely going to be tricky, and that M-bar is going to connect once again on Icy. Dez is going to connect on a Rushiez, and this should be, yeah, it's going to be a 4-0 lead for PK.
Yeah, 4-0 lead for PK. That's going to be a 56-second round for them, and they are absolutely obliterating Rise. You know, both squads have kind of split the initial wins, but when we get towards that second team fight and PK coming off respawn, they are quicker at getting the objectives in which they need to lock out these rounds and winning those big fights. Rise got to match them on that speed afterwards because, you know, the initials are being won by them. They're splitting them, but it comes down to that step 2 for Rise to get set up. And they were just playing for the dominations early on in this series, and rightfully so, because on a map like District, if you get the kills in the right places, the trip cap domination is definitely a play. But PK, man, they've been getting 3 and 4 in quick succession to the point where Rise can't even contest for a second team fight. So they need to figure out how to stay alive in these 1v1 spots and thin it out, and they put the second power weapon down. So that's going to split the map into a 2-2, so you won't see the secondaries play too much of an effect.
This 2v2 is going to be important for Rise to at least win one of them because PK, the way that they've been winning these initials, it gives them the opportunity to quickly push in for a domination, but at least for Bandstand, it is going to be one from Rise. On the other, what the heck is going on here? Icy's going to be standing up now to face off against Monkyz. I would, and that's exactly what it was, man. Just both guys just hitting each other as hard as they could, but Monkyz will win the M-bar. So 1-5-1 at the top, 1-5-1 at the bottom. But which one is going to be more fruitful? At least for PK at this moment, they go home to home. They lock into 2-1.
And the reason why they're home to home is because as soon as Dezo and his teammate lost the fight down low, Dezo rotated through spawn to get the decap and the capture on that hill. So that got his team a little bit of an advantage there, and he's still in enemy territory winning the fights. So being a little sneaky, Dezonide has not died in this round, and he's making some big plays for his team, and he wins another 1v1 fight to allow his team to get to the home hill. He finally gets some help. They get on top of E. Player 8 needs to make a play in which he cannot. 5-0 victory for PK, and that was a hell of a map.
A hell of a map for one team for sure. 5-0 for PK. Now, I want to take some positives away, really, I do, because the team already lost. Rise lost 5-0. Like, and there's no reason for me to come in with any negatives. It is what it is. I want to take some positives away if I possibly, because I always like to showcase the best of teams if I can. I'm just too much of a softy, Blaze.
So you're looking for the positives in Rise right now?
Brother, I'm a softy, man. I don't like to beat anybody up. All right. So Rise loses 5-0. Seriously, what are some positives we could take away, Blaze?
Well, the positives that we could take away is that even though Rise lose 5 rounds in a row, they won 5 initials in my book, right? They won 5 initials. They got power weapons.
Did they really, though?
No, sorry, not 5 initials, 3. They won 3 initials.
Okay, 3 initials. I was about to say 5. That's okay.
Yeah,
okay, fair enough.
No, they lose 5 rounds, but they won 3 out of those 5 initials.
Okay.
That's the positive of that, right? But even though you win fights off the start, you got to be able to transition those into round wins, into points. and they never got to a mid-game setup. The longest round in this map may have been 1 minute and 20 seconds. All right. So Rise never even got a chance to play the late game in this map. And
that's where they're strongest.
And that's where they're strongest, right? So they need to figure out a way how to extend these rounds when they get down to TG. If not, man, PK will run away with this one.
They very might well. Again, Pittsburgh Knights, a great training grounds team. For sure, Rise, their strongest map, or at least historically has been on District. But as you mentioned, Rise is strongest whenever they do extend those rounds, and Pittsburgh Knights didn't allow that to happen whatsoever. Rise, round number 3, placed that M-bar down. They said, man, this is going to switch up things enough, at least for us to have an advantage. It doesn't work, right? They don't win the M-bar. They end up falling behind again. They're now down 4-0. They said, all right, well, now we really don't want to battle against the Shock and keep it like a singular fight. Let's go ahead and now place that sniper down on the other end on Bandstand. Breaks up the fight a little bit. We do see Franchis and Icy win that initial fight for the long shot, but on the other end, it was just like you said, it was a brawl. It was a street fight, literally. Teams just hitting each other left and right. And it was ultimately Monkyz, the last one standing, winning that M-bar. And we've seen the damage he was able to output from that. And also the OE, the home hill to home hill for Pittsburgh Knights put Rise in a position where they had to allocate resources where they didn't necessarily want to. So for Rise, tough break, 5-0 loss. But is this not what Rise does? Come on, let's go back and think about the times we have watched Rise in the past plays, and how many times do they lose, decisively in map 1, only to send it to a game 3 after 2 back-to-back round 9s? It happens every time I cast over Rise, so this series should be far from over.
Yeah, I think it is going to be far from over. Let's dive back into about a year ago. You go back to the grand finals of Mexico City, the last Gears of War event. It was Franchis, Rushiez, and Icy playing against Monkyz, Dezonide, and actually Sumuns was not there. I'm trying to think. Raver joined after the event because he beat the five. Yeah. Identys was there, but Raver was not. Raver and Sumuns was not on the team there. So. But they did play against Monkyz and Dezo on that stage. So I was going to say that 3 players from each of these squads played against each other. But in hindsight, Sumuns and Raver was not there yet because Ravers was beating Sumuns on a side station. So that's where those guys were kind of battling out in the Mexico event. But regardless of, is that Rise has been in this position before. Okay. And you said it, Taylor, that, yeah, Rise, they can craft the bed on map number 1, but it's how they come back, how they regain. I know they wish they would have got a few more reps on map number 1 and made it more competitive, but PK is not messing around. So that needs to be the indication for Rise to kind of raise the intensity. Okay, that's what they need to do. They need to raise the intensity here, because if they cannot match PK's intensity off the initial, this is gonna be a 10-0 series.
Oh, don't say that. I hope not. Sure. I mean, really, and I mean that. I hope not. It's not even a dig, man. Like,
why? They had an amazing series last week against E United, but now they come out and it's 5 over PK. And
that's true.
I guess it just shows that maybe the LATAM teams are just the 2 that we got at the top are just ultimately better. Now, luckily for us that, we got representation at the top because the top 2 spots are being held by VQ and Noble. NA shout out, right? Number 4 and number 3 is PK and F&I. Now, it's just a different time in North American Gears of War Esports. It's Vanquish and Noble who are the kings of North American Gears Esports. Rise, E United, they're at the bottom. They're 6th and 7th, okay? Right now, this season, they're looking like the past unless they got something to say about it this weekend. If not, if you're an NA Gears of War fan, you're behind Noble and VQ.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Unless Rise want to prove us wrong right now and, keep this series close. Unless them and E United want to come out and take first place this weekend.
I would be so confused, man. Like, this is the thing. We know when the money's on the line and you're trying to secure that bag, these guys play out of their mind without question. But it always makes me like, why can't that happen during Pro League? Like it can. I just want that narrative to die. I'm going to be completely honest with you, brother, but who knows? It might stay alive because it's been that way literally since the beginning of
Taylor,
years.
I think it does happen in Pro League, and I just think they've been taking L's, right? I think it has happened in Pro League. They do give it, You know, they give it their all 95% of the time. They give it their all, but just series does not fall their way. Now, yeah, you're gonna get an extra boost when it's major time and the big check is there. But leading up into this point, you didn't practice multiple days out the week to come on the stream and be casted by Taylor Noble.
And Icy's been grinding.
And Guy Spencer to get 5-0'd in map number 1. You just don't do that. Okay, that's just not a thing. We have almost 3 million channel points on the line, and it's not a thing.
Who put 3 million channel points on the line?
I don't know. It's a lot on the line for this series, right? What is it, like 2 million?
Oh, for Pittsburgh Knights. Oh, yeah.
No, just as a whole.
Oh, as a whole.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points.
It's a lot of channel points on the line.
How many did you put up, 10 or 15?
I didn't put any. Okay, I gotta let them build up. I'll be betting again in another year. Give me another year. Let me let them just.
How many points do you have actually? How many points do you? Because at one point you had like 100,000.
Yeah, I bet 100K about a week ago, and I lost it all.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
Not mad. I'm not. I don't know what I would have done with them. I don't know what I would have done with them. I lost them in a round 9 map number 3. It was an exciting night.
And that's why you don't bet everything. If you're listening, chat, okay, don't just go out there and blow all of your channel points.
Go all in, chat. Don't.
Hey,
I have fun.
Do not go all in, because then you'll be broke and then you can't bet anything, man.
It was the best Challenger series of my life. I had a great time. I had a great time that night.
All right, fair enough. The map's loading in. That final member from PK finally joined up. So we're going to be loading into training grounds. And again, this is Pittsburgh Knights map pick. They've already won Rise's map pick on District 5-0. This is the thing for me, Blaze. What does Rise have to do differently? I mean, well, first of all, I guess just get through. I'm going to answer my own question. Well, win, yeah, but then get through the initials, because the initials is just where everything fell apart. They get through the initials and extend the round, they'll be all right.
They got to survive 60 seconds. Okay, they survive 60 seconds, and they can. Then we'll start talking about the mid game and what they can survive. What can they do? Because Sumuns gets first blood. He picks up 2 quick kills. This round is looking like it may not go 60 seconds.
What's that movie called? Gone in 60 Seconds? We might be seeing that one instead. But Avexys, he's gone as well. PK still continues to go for the OE, and Rises last stand of the Alamo. They've got to lock in A. This is their home hill, and they've got to get it. Unfortunately, Fran is down. The cleanup's going to come through with Sumuns, and Icy is also going to drop 2, and that's going to be all she wrote for round number 1. PK has now won 6 straight rounds in a row.
All right, well, they did not survive 60 seconds in the first round. We'll see about the second, okay? But you got to get past that first fight. You get past that first fight on PK. Now Rise is building up some momentum here. But, Sumuns, he did a great job with fighting that overlook, having the right hand, having support from his teammate. I think, actually, he may not have support from Heaven, but... regardless of, is that they got 2 kills off the start and they quickly got the remaining players. Now let's see if they can do that once again, as we're going to be following Sumuns to kick off this round, and he's going to take a different route. So he's going to play off his team's right-hand advantage, and they know that they can possibly get Avexys here. Sumuns takes a beeline towards him, run past 2 Lancers here on the side of Rise, but he may be regretting that, but ultimately he is still alive. He still can make an impact. Well, not anymore.
Anymore, you're right. Rise now will continue to push in. Good chance to win this round without question, but they've got to get through Monkyz, and Fran has to know he's there. No, he doesn't. He goes for the pickup. Monkyz should be able to clean it up, and he does. So now Avexys is going to go ahead and dip out and help his teammates. Meanwhile, PK won the fight against player number 4 of Rushiez, and they're going to be able to retake Bravo as well. So they'll start closing out that 30-point deficit. They're not going to stop there. They're going to start pushing into Overlook. Icy's going to be full red, forced to back off, trying to maintain his life. He is dropped. And now we're looking at an OE once again. PK looking to close it in a way of domination. And Rushiez, as well as Fran, are the only ones to try and stop this for now.
Yeah, they are the only ones, and just that quickly, Rise is backed up into a corner on their home hill, and they had just won a great fight, right? They won a good fight at the Overlook. It looked like they were getting positioning, but then they lose the 1v1 fight at B. They lose a fight at A, and I was asking myself, why didn't nobody press up with Fran, right? It seemed like they could have been a little indecisive on this if they wanted to play that far, but he pocketed the bow top. Now, a player from Rise did get the decap on B as I was talking, and PK had to double back to win this fight as well. which they shall do for now, unless Icy can buy his team more time. They need to slow down PK because currently, man, the last 6 rounds have been in their favor and they have controlled the pace throughout 2 maps.
But Rise did get what we thought they needed, right? They extended the round, so this should be one of their better chances to take a round if they can. But of course, they are losing the fights, and that is tough. But Frank gets onto 1, and Raver looking to shut him down still, though. PK with the win condition, the 2-1 hill advantage. Player 3 is going to be on Alpha, and Rise has a slim chance to take this round, but it's there.
They need 1. They just need 1. If they can get 1 round, Rise can start feeling like themselves, but PK is making them work for everything. It just shows that PK is on another level as a squad when they come into these matchups. They are ready for war. But Rise, man, they are slowly picking up their pace, so I will say that. Now, they need a decap here in this last and final push, and that's what they're playing for. They're not playing to win a team fight. They know that they can win off the B hill and C hill, but they need the decap at A. Icy takes a lot of damage, but now he's going to be putting out some damage. The Avexys goes down. Here's the help. Franchis should be able to get in for free, but what kind of impact can he make? The B hill gets decapped, so 4 has to double back. 6 is going to help him. So PK has the numbers on every hill, and they got the numbers to win the round.
And that's now 2-0 for them. But we did see the round extended, and obviously PK was able to fight back. And simply it comes down to winning more engagements. Everywhere I look, Pittsburgh Knights, they're shooting out, getting that Lancer damage and the chip damage, right? Fighting for your team and getting the chunks in the end. Well done. Good rotations too. And a good job for Monkyz to force that 1v1 against Fran. Remember, whenever they were going in for the domination, he was able to sneak around the corner and take down Fran in 2 natural shots. So well done. Here we go. Let's see how round number 3 is going to play out. We're getting into territory once again where Power Weapon is most likely going down in the next round.
Hey, the last round was even better for Rise. Okay, let's see if they can kind of build off that. PK sending 2 players down low to B. They're completely avoiding the fight on the other end of the map. They don't want to deal with the retros this round. They know Rise is going to love to have those weapons and go tit for tat with damage. But PK, man, they're taking their numbers. They're winning their shotgun fights. Now, Rise needs to do the same, but the damage coming from Heaven keeps Monkyz alive.
Wow.
That's 3 members from Rise that goes down. Monkyz backed up into a corner, but there's no place he'll rather be as PK locks in round number 3 in 33 seconds. Lots of threes there.
So,
you know, Icy and Avexys got 3 kills apiece. A lot of threes.
Bad omen. Official audio partner of Gears Esports, ladies and gentlemen, Astros. Best headsets out there, without question. Check them out. Go to astrogaming.com. Hey, man, seriously, you got to pick some up. All right, Rise looking to maybe put something down and Overlook. I think that's fair, you know, because it makes that fight unique. I think more than anything, right? It's not just the normal fight that you'll constantly see up there. So Drop Shot is here. And also, you got to take into account Pittsburgh Knights does have the shock, right? So this next round would benefit them, especially if there was something placed up top. So this is the best chance for Rise to take a round. Let's see if they can do it.
Yeah, let's see if they can get it done. PK with their power weapon. And in this moment, we are going to get a reset. And I think that's exactly what Rise needed, man. They needed something to just slow this one down just a bit. We're going to get the drop shot placed down mid-map. So Rise digging into their bag of strategies, trying to say, okay, our backs are against the wall. We've lost 8 straight rounds. What do we need to do to come back in this one? So it's drop shot mid-map. Now Rise gets to talk about this a little bit longer, right? It gets to air out as Avexys gets back in the lobby and we reset. PK, they got a lot of leeway here. They got a lot of rounds to play with. You know, they are the team that is sitting in that driver's seat to come away with a victory. So now they just need to relax and cruise through. Okay. But they're gonna cruise until a point where Rise starts contesting them where they need to turn it back up a bit. And we'll see, man. But hey, PK, man, they look good today.
They look unstoppable.
Yeah, really unstoppable.
They definitely look good. That's 8 in a row. What are you going to do? Like you said, reach into your bag of tricks, figure it out, talk it out. Fair enough. It helped VQ, you know, in that F&I series, and it could help Rise without question. So Hey, hopefully it does. I really do want to see a competitive series. I think that's what everybody wants, and us as commentators want to see a competitive series. But maybe we'll get that off of the restart. We're going to take a quick break while the lobby gets restarted back up. We get all the weapons and the rounds where they should be. But don't go anywhere. When we do come back, we'll be heading into round number 4 on Training Grounds between Pittsburgh Knights and Rise. Welcome back, everybody, to Gears Pro League week number 5. Still waiting on that restart on Training Grounds to send us into round number 4 between Pittsburgh Knights and Rise. But so far, we do have a 1-0 lead for Pittsburgh Knights. They were able to win on District Rise's map pick 5-0, and they are currently leading 3-0 on Training Grounds, which, of course, is Pittsburgh Knights map pick. And it's really been about all initials. Even on District, it was all initial play. Even on Training Grounds, it's been all initial play, albeit that round number 3 extended itself and was a bit longer, but PK was still able to get that lead in the end. So
yeah,
it's been a tough series without question for Rise, man. It's been a really, really tough series for them. And honestly, I feel for them. I do. No team wants to have the performance they're having. And it is what it is, though. They're a talented group of people. They're champions, after all.
Yeah, over the last 8 rounds that we've played, I think only 3 of those rounds, maybe just 2, have went over 2 minutes. Went over a minute. Sorry. Only 3 of those rounds have went over a minute out of the 5 in which we've played. So PK have been winning their initials and quickly transferring those initials, translating them into dominations, okay? They're being very productive on the map. And Rise haven't found an answer on the rounds in which they have been able to slow PK down. I want to say they lost one by about 10 seconds, 10 points by the end of a round. And they lost one on District in the very first round of that went all the way towards the end off a team fight there towards the back end. But it was just close, right? Close rounds in which they don't come out with. So, we talked about it before about Rise making it towards the late game so they can feel a little bit more comfortable. But it's a lot that they have to do in order for them to get to the late game. They got to win the initial. They got to have some type of influence on whatever power weapon's going to be down on the map, picking it up, contesting it, splitting it 50-50. And then from there, they got to start taking their numbers, working together, wolfpacking as a squad, partnering up with their teammates, finding 2v1s on the map, just finding a way to make PK feel like they are not in control of this series anymore. And after 8 rounds like PK had, that's a hard thing to do. It takes for you to come out here and play at 100%, okay? And to get PK locked in like that. And then you got to exceed that in order to come back in this series. So Rise, they got their work cut out for them. It could be either 2 rounds left for them in this series of them playing for the night and we're all going home, or they're going to push this towards the end.
And I hope it's the latter. I truly do. I want to see a good competitive match, and I know Rise has the ability to make it that close. We've watched Rise and Pittsburgh Knights face off against each other throughout the history of Gears. Okay, bottom line, at least at some point, even if they weren't known as Rise or they weren't known as Pittsburgh Knights, right? We still know these 4 members who have competed against each other at one point or another. So again, they know and understand their play styles, but it is a tough break again for Rise to lose 8 straight rounds in a row. It's a lot of pressure to overcome, and you hope the communication is still sound. Maybe that's why the break was intended. Hey, I don't blame them, nor do I hold anything against them for doing so. One stat line I do have, though, coming out from Hunter over in the studio is Monkyz is 5-10 with 1 death. It's impressive, right? Monkyz continually impresses me week in and week out. Hey, Blaze, you're itching an eye. What does that mean, man? What do you thinking, man?
When I heard that stat line from Monkyz, my eye twitched, and I'm just like, Blaze, you got no way in hell of winning this series. I'm like, he's 5 kills.
That, man. Hey, come on.
Like, granted, man, I'm not playing the series. What you mean?
That's true.
5 kills,
man.
10 assists, 1 death.
Yeah.
In map number 3.
Yeah.
I want Rise to win, folks. Y'all know I'm locked in, but like when I hear a stat line like that from Monkyz, he's looking good on a Tuesday. He's turning up on a Tuesday. He always turns up on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, my eye twitched a little bit. And I'm just like, ugh.
Hey, look, I don't blame you, man. It is tough. But hey, it is what it is. The restart hopefully will help. You've been a competitor in the past, man. And when you are losing like Rise is currently losing. What do you do? I mean, and don't give me the, you just got to let it go. Unless that's the true answer. What do you really do, brother?
Firstly, as a teammate, the way that you let it go as a teammate, you start aggressively talking about two things. One, all the good things aggressively. All the good things that your teammates have done up until this point. Hey, man, that was a great job off the initial. You did good in round number 1. They caught us on some BS. You got to make excuses for the why you're losing, okay? But then you have to quickly start focusing on what y'all need to do. Just keep the conversation towards the forefront of the series, towards the next round and the next round. Just keep the conversation progressive. Keep the vibes right. And if you can do that, that's step 1 of you starting to make a comeback. But then we can have a conversation on the team of who does that? Who has that conversation? What does that sound like? Which player on your team is allocated to do such things? Now, you got a great IGL and Fran. I think Avexys is a hype man. I think Icy damn sure can motivate anyone on this squad by him just keeping his own emotions in check. So if Icy can turn up, the rest of the squad can get behind him and find a way to stay in this series. Let's go, folks.
Let's go. All right, Rise, let's get this comeback started. Dezo off the rip is going to be Lancered out. Sumuns going to get the pickup. Drop shot is in hell, and that's what these players are currently fighting for. And, of course, it's a short jaunt over towards Bravo. Fran's going to be tagged up. Sumuns forced to back off because of the pressure from that player. That's going to be Icy, who's able to Lancer out and give some assistance. So, Fran will get that drop shot with the 1 rocket, and that could be incredibly valuable. For Pittsburgh Knights, though, they're going to go ahead and utilize up top, and Fran misses the drop and will lose his life. And this is going to be a tough spot now as PK is on the OE.
And that's why we don't see too much drop shot, folks, is that it just has 1 shell and you don't get maximum advantage from that shell at all times. So with that drop being missed, I know Rise is feeling that one. But hey, it was a better start than before. Now B Hill is, the trip cap domination is here. Fran's gonna make it to the hill. He goes down. The B Hill still getting capped. Can player 3 make it in time for now? But it's not enough, and PK gets another perfect start. It's 1:11 on the clock there. Even though the drop shot was placed down, and PK at first, they went down to it. They didn't know how to fight for it. But you see the players, they're gonna back up. They let Fran get the drop. They let him in. They didn't let him in. He fought his way in. He gets out, but the fight was won up top by PK. And so from there, they were able to get the pinch, get the neutral hill, and get that final push towards their opponent's home hill. And like I said, man, it's going to be 2 more quick rounds, or we can go the distance. Is looking like the 2 quick rounds.
We'll find out. 1 more round remains for PK to be flawless with a Tito victory, lead 2-0, and better their record, and I believe put them back in 2nd place. Franchis once again going for that drop shot off the rip. The smoke is there, and he doesn't get the pickup. He's still concerned someone's going to be pushing him. Finally does get it, though, and immediately is going to be challenged by Dezo. Great elimination. Now he can break free with the drop shot and force the issue onto Monkyz, who's going in for the cap. Monkyz, he has to dip out. He understands pressure's going to be too much, but he's going to try and force this 1v2. His stats are through the roof. That's going to be 1. Friend clutches up on the 2nd, but the job's not over with just yet. Raver's going to be on the other side. Drop shot's coming out. Does he commit to it? He does not. He wants to battle against Raver. He understands the drop shot has value. Perfect time to use it. Potential 2-piece opportunity. He shoots it out, gets a hit marker and Sumuns, and now goes up top to help Avexys.
Oh boy, Fran's gonna be scratching his head about that one all night. Those 2 drops in the last 2 rounds that could have played, that could have did wonders for Rise. But now they got to fight with their base weapons, and PK, they can smell victory. They can smell the momentum just draining from their opponent as they are about to rotate towards the D hill. The entire squad. Avexys needs to go big. He needs 4. He got 1. He can't get the next, but can Rushiez do it? He's the saving grace for Rise, but with a 4-man capture, PK, they lock this one in 10-0, and they're looking fantastic as we get closer to the playoffs this weekend.
Yes, sir. Mid-split playoffs coming this weekend. And, man, Pittsburgh Knights, are looking unstoppable. There you go, man. He's Ninja Man. He's making, and you know what? If he's making that stance against me in a dark alley, I'm running the opposite way, brother. I'm not about to challenge him, okay? Because he just got it going on, looking that ugly, that vicious. And Colin probably going to roast me for saying ugly because he finds every character in Gears of War just to be the most beautiful thing that's ever existed on planet Earth. PK, congratulations. 10-0 victory over Rise. And, tough break. It is what it is. But we still have tomorrow for Pro League. We'll talk about our schedule and everything as we do, get later on to closing it out. But for Rise, they do have tomorrow to, play once again, get their confidence back up heading into mid-split playoffs.
Yeah, they do. And their matchup tomorrow is not going to be an easy one. But, hey, we'll see that in just a bit as we look at our schedule for tomorrow. We'll see it on the schedule.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see it on the schedule.
Fair enough, Blaze.
Yeah. But it's going to be a good one. I know that for a fact. But coming back to this series, just to say a little bit more about it, PK dominated. And I think that's all that needs to be said, that PK was the best team in this matchup. They are the best team, as we can see, going into this weekend of the playoffs. And we still got one more day of Pro League to be played in. Tomorrow is going to tell a lot for a lot of these teams and really solidify our placing so we can know what that bracket's going to look like. But as far as today goes, a Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021, PK, man, was the best team in Gears of War.
Definitely were. Well, I mean, you say the best team in Gears of War. You still have Noble, who's in first place. All right, so Noble is still absolutely up there. In this series, PK was the best.
March 23rd, 2021, I think PK is the best team today.